You did it.
All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's Tutor Tuesday. Today we are going to be presenting for a Smart Start for Student Success presented by our Center for Academic Excellence. And we are joined today from one of our tutors, Kimberly Lund. She will be presenting on these topics today, and she will show you how the Center for Academic Excellence, or otherwise known as the CAE, can help you to be successful in your college journey with us. So before we get started, I do want to go ahead and share our QR code. I am going to share it on the screen. If it works, there it is. Everybody see the QR code there?
Yes.
Okay, so you can either take a photo of that. If your photo, like if you scan over it with your photo, it should pop up with like a link that this QR code is linked to. And then you click on that and that will just log your attendance. Otherwise, you might have to pull up a QR reader on your phone. If neither of those things work for you, I did drop a link in the chat box that is a direct link, same thing as the QR code. So you can do one of those two things in order to log your attendance, and all that that does, I already said this a moment ago, but for all of you watching the recorded version, is it's logging your attendance, and then you'll be redirected and sent a feedback form to gather some of that information that we are going to have to collect to send you out your prizes for today. So, so if you guys have taken a moment to scan that, I'm also going to share that again at the end of the presentation, or if you've taken a moment to to click on the link, either one of those things work. We are going to go ahead and let Kim get started.
Okay, and before I do, is everyone done looking at the QR code here?
Looks like Ava's.
I'm just going to give it a second before because the first thing I'm going to do is share my screen. Looks like you guys are ready, like you got what you needed from there.
And again, I will share that again at the end of the presentation. So if you didn't get a chance to get it, we will get it again.
All right. And so we're just changing screens around here, and I've got a PowerPoint presentation, so I'm just getting that maximized. And we'll get the slideshow started. So the goal for today, oh, here we go, is to teach you guys a little bit about some of the resources you have here at Ivy Tech Fort Wayne to help make sure that you guys are successful. That's what we're all about here. You've got a lot of support here to help ensure your success. Our agenda for today is to talk about 4 key tips for student success at any college, and in particular here at Fort Wayne Ivy Tech Community College. We also want to go over a list of available resources to you, and then we want to make sure that you're able to access the services for the Center for Academic Excellence. And let me just tell you what that means. I work for the Center for Academic Excellence, and I don't think I would have known what we do unless someone told me. But we are the Fort Wayne campus tutors. That's what we are. There's a whole bunch of us. We all hold 4-year degrees in the primary subjects that we tutor, and we all specialize in the Ivy Tech campus curriculums. So we know exactly who your teachers are. We know which textbooks they're using, what they assign, and what their expectations are. So you get a very specific tutoring experience when you use our services. We want to make sure that you know that all of the services, or most of the services, and ours in particular, are quote free, but they're not. I'm not a volunteer. Our services are included in your price of tuition. So I just like for people to understand that and to encourage you to get the most out of your money. So don't be afraid to come visit us via Zoom. We are doing all of our work remotely. Do you guys have any questions so far? Okay. All right, I'm going to advance the slide. I want to talk to you a little bit about 4 of the best tips that we have found to help ensure our students are successful. And the very #1 tip, and I have 2 daughters in college, and I have sat through both of their orientations. One's at IU, and I am proud to say I'm a house divided. The other one started at Purdue this week, and both of those universities had the same top tip. They will tell you the #1 rule for success is to actually attend your class every day. And I will share my personal story with you. I went to Penn State, and when I was a freshman, I said, you know, I'm just going to take an afternoon off. I did this once, and I never did it again. Because when you don't attend a class, it takes about twice as much time. to make up the work or figure out what you missed than it would have taken had you just gone. And so I found it was much more efficient to just go. So I just want to share that with you. And every university I've talked to, they all say students who attend class do the best. This semester is a little weird because a lot of you guys would have been attending classes in person, face-to-face, but because of our wonderful pandemic, we are having those face-to-face classes in what we call a virtual way. And a virtual course means you are going to have attendance just like you would in a face-to-face class. So for those virtual courses, you will be expected to log into that Zoom meeting, and your instructor, most likely at community college, will even take your attendance based on looking for your name or your bright shiny face in their Zoom screen. Does that make sense when I say that? Okay. In addition, some of you may be taking online classes. I skipped ahead a second. You may be taking online classes, and that's a little different. You won't have to attend at a specific time, but you will need to stay up with your online classes. So I just want to explain that there's online, but then there's also virtual, and they are two different things. Does that still make sense? Okay. For online courses, it's a little different since you won't have to show your instructor your face. It gives you a little extra challenge. You're going to have to be in the habit of taking a look at what's expected each week. And we also recommend to our students in an online class to plan time to check in with your instructor about twice a week. Just a quick little email. Are you caught up? Anything, whatever it is, just check in. If you're doing your homework or you're doing any kind of work for those classes and you have a question, your instructor should be your primary line of defense, that first person you go to. They're getting paid to teach you, so don't be afraid to have them teach you, even though it's an online class. Does that make sense? Okay. And they're there to do that. That's what they want to do. And so then that we say use these opportunities, whether you're in your virtual class or you're just doing a once or twice a week check-in with your instructor, to use these opportunities to ask questions. Don't be afraid to let on that you don't know something. You are the student, your instructors expect you to have questions. So don't be too proud to just throw it out there. I'm an instructor, I've worked at community colleges, and I can honestly say, I've never looked at a student and thought to myself, my gosh, that was a dumb question. I love it when my students ask questions because when they ask me questions, I know exactly where they are in their development with my course material. And then I know exactly how to help them. But if no one asks me questions, I don't know how to help. And your instructors are rooting for you. They really want you to be successful. So feel free to ask them questions. And it's important. If your instructor offers office hours, use them if you have any questions. Again, they are there rooting for you, and it's their job to help you be successful. So don't be shy. And it is true, and I've seen this quote often, students should regularly attend class and participate by asking questions, almost always pass their class. So it's the hottest tip I can give you. Attend and participate. All right, tip number 2. This is the next biggest struggle. People are always trying to figure out why don't students in college, why aren't they more successful? What's the number one hurdle for success in a college system and in particular a community college system? And I say the number one struggle my students face is time. I say here at the community college, our students typically have not gone away from home to go study, and studying is their number one and only thing to do. Our students tend to live at home, either with their own children or with their parents or siblings or animals or pets, all kinds of things. And when we live at home, we have extra distractions that we don't have when we live on a campus. And so one of the biggest challenges is just stay focused and manage your time. One thing we like to suggest is for you to use a time management tool. Lots of people like to grab these online time management applications and stuff. I am old school. I still use like a little binder a daily planner that I pick up at Walmart, and I plan my days. We'd like to refer to a week commitment schedule, and I'm just going to pull up a picture of what one looks like, and it's just a day planner. Looks like that. And what we want you to do is to get something that looks like this, and you can make your own. And we want you to kind of just take a look early before you're busy right now with your classes. We want you to give yourself a realistic picture of what your week looks like. You need to block out the times that you're required to go to class. Block out the times that you know you need to eat or sleep. Most of our students have some kind of part-time or full-time job while they're attending. You need to block those times out. They're dedicated, they're gone. You have to do those things, okay? And then with the spaces that are left over, we want you to find 2 or 3 blocks of time for every 1 hour you're in class. So if you're taking a 3-credit class, you're typically in class about 3 hours that week. We want you to plan to spend 6 to 9 additional hours doing homework or studying, okay? And everyone's different. Some people will only need about that 6, and some people will need closer to that 9. And it might even depend on the class itself. But we just want you to start to plan it and think about it now before you get busy, because you're about to get busy. Any questions about that? And then these little guides are helpful, like it's just a week-to-week guide. Every week should look pretty much the same. And you would just throw it maybe on your refrigerator or your desk or someplace that you see often. When you have it written down, we call it a weekly commitment schedule instead of a daily planner, because when you're written down, you've begun to commit to it. It's the first step in actually getting the work done. In addition, inside Ivy Learn, and a little later I'm going to pull up Ivy Learn and show it to you, but we have an Ivy Learn calendar, which is kind of cool if you like navigating through Canvas, because your instructors, as they've created due dates or assignments on their end in the Canvas system, it auto-populates onto your calendar. So you can see due dates, and they're already there. And I'll pull that up a little later and show you how to find it, but it's in something called Ivy Learn. The last thing I want to talk to you when it comes to time management is to talk to you about something we call the Eisenhower Matrix. I've worked many years. I went to college, I served in the military, I was a corporate trainer for several years. Eventually I got my master's degree in teaching, and I've been working in community colleges for many years since. And I have had to manage my time many a time, and I've been to many time management courses. And the best ones, and this is an interesting thing, most students think, you're going to tell me how to cram more into my day, and that's what they want to hear. But the best time management courses don't tell you how to cram more in. They actually tell you how to take stuff out. The best time management courses tell you to focus on your priorities and ignore the rest. What am I talking about? This Eisenhower Matrix illustrates it excellently. Here's an example of some things that you might think you need to do this week. Things like handing in a project that was actually due last week, or helping a friend who wants you to help them decide what to do this weekend. Maybe your mom has a birthday coming up. You want to buy her a gift. Maybe you're worried about stopping an alien invasion, paying rent, catching up on your email, catching just one more episode of that favorite show you watch on Netflix, or beginning that novel you've always dreamed of writing. We bring this list up to make the point that there are things in your life that are very important, that represent your number one priorities. And there are things in your life that you just like to do. There are things in your life that need to be done today, and things that can be done in the future. And when we talk about time management, and we talk about getting the most out of your day by doing the most important things, and it actually means by doing less, spending more in-depth quality time on a handful of things instead of less quality time on more things. We're talking about thinking this way. There are some things that just aren't important. There are some things that are very important. And the number one thing I find that students struggle with, especially in the community college system, if they're not going to succeed, it's because they let life get in the way. The number one reason my students have not succeeded in the past is because they just let their life get in the way. These are the years that the people in your life are there to help you. These are not the years that you are to help the people in your life. And I can't stress that enough. If you're living at home and your child or your parent says to you, please go take the dog for a walk and empty the dishwasher and run your sibling over to practice. No, those are not your priorities right now. Your number one priority is to succeed in college. And you need to kind of push back and let the people in your life know that Kim Lund from the CAE at Ivy Tech Fort Wayne said that in order for you to be successful, you need to focus on college. That is your number one priority. If there is time left over after you've done the important things you set aside to do today, feel free to pitch in, but not until your number one priorities are completed. That means attending class and completing your homework and your objectives for that day so that you're on target to have that paper written by the end of next week or to be successful on that test that's coming up the week after next. Does it make sense what I'm saying? And do you know what happens? My college students would much rather take their sibling to soccer practice than do their homework. They'd even prefer to empty the dishwasher. I know my kids are procrastinating from important schoolwork they need to be doing when suddenly my kitchen is clean and I didn't do it. And I think you know what I'm talking about. Okay, so we just throw these kind of silly activities out there to think about. Some of this stuff is much more important than others. If it is important, that means it's school related and it's urgent, it's due soon. You do that today. If it's important, that means it's school related, but it's not as urgent. You're gonna do it tomorrow or the next day or next week, but it's on your list. If it's not important, meaning anything other than school related, but it's urgent, that's your opportunity to see if you can delegate that to someone else in your household instead of letting them delegate it to you. And if it's not important and it's not urgent, meaning it's not due soon, kind of like starting your novel, save it for when you graduate. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Been there and done that.
This is temporary. This college experience is going to last a couple years, but it is temporary. And when you're done, you get to repay the favor to those people in your life. But it's key. This is the most important thing, I think, to being successful in college, is to start thinking this way. Okay, so that's the Eisenhower Matrix. And then another thing we want you to start thinking about is to stop that procrastinating. When we talk about procrastinating, we talk about ways to overcome it. We talk about something called the Pomodoro Technique, which I believe is Italian for the word tomato, because the person who came up with the technique had a tomato-shaped timer. The number one reason why we procrastinate is because we don't like to do, I know we see Carrie's daughter in the background, is we don't like to do things that are painful. No one does that. It's human nature. Why would we subject ourselves to something that's painful? But we do, right? Because learning is painful. If you're not feeling some pain while you're in college and doing your homework, you're probably not learning. And the learning is important because it's what's going to set us up to be successful in that job that we want to have. That's the reason that we're here to begin with. So the Pomodoro Technique says, well, let's just maybe take a little bit of that pain away. Sometimes when we look at a homework assignment, especially in college, they seem overwhelming, they seem huge, and they seem painful. And the best way to overcome that sensation is to say, you know, I'm not going to commit to 2 hours or 3 hours of this right now. I'm going to commit to 25 to 30 minutes right now. I'm even going to set a timer for either 25 to 30 minutes. And when I turn that timer on, I'm turning my phone off. And if I'm really smart, I'm placing my phone in a completely different part of my house. Because I will tell you, you will get one heck of a lot more done in that 25 to 30 minutes when you are focused. And you are not focused if your phone is sitting right there. And when you're done with that 25 to 30 minutes, you take that brain break. Your brain needs it. It learns best when you give it time to digest anyway. So when that timer goes off, go rescue that phone and go through it and enjoy it. You've earned that time to play around on your phone. But you will get so much more out of your time if you commit to focusing for those 25 to 30 minutes a few times a day, every day. And so when I tell you on your commitment calendar, plan for 2 to 3 hours per class, you'll probably be closer to that 2 hours if you actually put that phone, that TV, or that sibling somewhere else. Any questions about that? Don't leave study time to chance or you won't get it done. You know what I mean, right?
Exactly.
Plan it.
Yeah.
And then be focused. Just little bursts. You know, it's much easier to commit to 25 minutes than it is to commit to 2 hours. So you're more likely to do it because it's less painful. And I know sometimes when I get started, I'll tell myself, I'm just going to do 20 minutes. And then I get into what I'm doing. And then once I'm into it, I don't want to stop until I'm done. And that's okay too. But we do learn best when we give our brains time to digest what we do. Okay. All right, the next tip number 3, practice smart, steady habits. All right, and I'm just going to pop them all up together. Okay, create your optimal study conditions. So this is kind of a nice idea, but everyone's schedule's different. But if you have like half an hour between classes, and sometimes that happens, that's a perfect time to get 25 to 30 minutes of studying done because you're still kind of in the school mode in between classes. If you come all the way out of the school mode and you go work on something else or go play, it's hard to get yourself back into it. So sometimes those are great little nuggets of time to get something done. Again, we recommend that 25-minute increments of studying. And we talked about breaking big assignments down to smaller chunks of work. And then here are a couple of brain-friendly strategies. Studies say that we will only remember about 10% of what we read, and only about 20% of what we hear, or about 20% of what we write down. But when we start combining these things, we read it, we talk about it, we write it down, we start to remember 30% or more. So when we study, a lot of students like to go get the little apps or the online apps that make flashcards for you. But I will tell you, if you make your own flashcards, you're more likely to remember what you put on there if you wrote it down yourself. It's a very brain-friendly strategy to how to help retain information more efficiently. If there's an important concept, and students say to me all the time, it surprises me they say this, they often aren't sure what the important concepts are. What is my teacher looking for in this paper? Or what is my teacher going to ask on this test? And it surprises me that students ask me this. I'm going to tell you why. As an instructor, and I know your instructors do this, in their syllabus and in their weekly lessons, they spell out for you what the learning objectives are for that lesson. So what's important is what they told you you should be able to know or do by the end of that lesson. Your textbooks are organized the same way. If you had to read a chapter, your textbook tells you, these are their learning objectives. This is what you should know or be able to do. So if you're thinking in the back of your mind, I need to be able to answer a question about this. If there's a list, I should be able to list it. If there's a list, I should be able to pick them out in maybe a multiple choice kind of a format, like this word goes with that definition. If I'm reading that way and I'm spending my time thinking that way, I'm going to be much more efficient with that study time. We like to recommend studying with other people, but only if those people are going to stay on task. But one of the reasons why we like to do this is if you have your friend quiz you or you quiz your friend, it forces you to create questions out of your material. It makes you interact with that material. You're starting to retain more. And if you're having to answer questions that your friends are quizzing you and you have your books closed and you force yourself to recall it, you're imprinting that data on your brain and you're more likely to recall it when you take a test. So if your friends can stay on task, it is great to study with other people, to quiz each other. Forces you to interact with that material in 2 different ways, both of which are excellent ways in helping you retain what you're learning. The final thing, and this is a hot tip, there comes a point in time the night before a test when you are better off getting sleep than you are in studying more. I can't tell many students say I stayed up till 3 or 4 in the morning studying and I don't know why I didn't do well on that test. Our brains don't function very well when they're tired. There comes a point in time when you just need to say, you know what, I need 7 hours of sleep. I'm going to do one last passive review. What's a passive review? I'm going to relax and read over my notes, and I'm not going to interact anymore with it. I'm just going to read it. I'm going to close my book. I'm going to close my eyes. I'm going to sleep. And interestingly enough, our brain will process that material even while we're sleeping. Talk about being efficient, getting homework done in your sleep. When you get up in the morning, you're more refreshed, and that information is more accessible to you. Make sense? Okay. The last thing I want to talk about, and it's really where I want to spend a lot of time. So I want to talk to you about all of the many, many resources Ivy Tech has available to you to help ensure that you are successful. Most of these are free, and if they're not, they will tell you that there is a charge. And hardly any of them, I mean, they're pretty much all free. When we say free, we mean included. And pretty much everything is now available virtually, just like what we're doing now. Students who use resources are most likely to succeed. And I don't know if you've noticed this or if someone's talked to you about it yet, but Canvas now has an app that you can download to your phone. And some people like this. I'm not huge about putting apps on my phone. I'm really kind of one of those people that likes to kind of put my phone away from time to time. I'd rather actually log into my email when I'm focused and take care of my stuff that way. But I'm unusual. Most people prefer apps. I just don't like the constant interruptions in my life. But if you have the app on your phone, if you're busy and you don't take the time to, you just know, like, I'm not going to get to my email today, and if something important happens, I need to know, the app is very handy. So you would get updates. If something had been updated, you would get an alert on your phone. And just something for you to think about. Everyone's different. I just want to let you know it's available. And then the last thing we want to talk to you about is the time that you spend with a tutor is twice as productive as time as you spend on your own. I'm not sure which classes everyone is taking, but here at Ivy Tech, your tutoring team can tutor just about everything. I do a lot of English 111. We have 5 dedicated math tutors. I am also one of those. We have multiple dedicated science tutors for all of the anatomy and biology classes that a lot of our students take. We have a tutor dedicated to, I want to say economics, but it's not, it's accounting. And we even have a tutor that helps with all the computer courses. But we can help save you time by keeping you from going down the wrong path in your learning and keeping you on the right path so you don't end up butting your head against the wall. So time with tutors can help make your life more efficient. We just want to let you know. We can help reduce your stress and help you have a little bit more free time. Okay, so let's talk about those available resources. Number 1 is your instructor. Number 2 is us, the Center for Academic Excellence. We often refer to as the CAE. We are your included in the price of tuition professional tutoring. We are available. We do both one-on-one appointments. You can, I'm going to give you our access information or the information to find us. You can schedule one-on-one appointments with a tutor 1 hour a week for every class you take. In addition, we have what we call a drop-in lab. And we're open 8 to 7 Monday through Thursday, 8 to 6 on Friday, and then Saturday mornings 9 to between 12 and 1. And we have a drop-in lab at caeivy.com, and I'll pull it up and show it to you in a minute, where you can just visit. We usually have 2 to 3 tutors in there, and you just pop on into our Zoom meeting. We'll let you in, and you just let them know what you're working on, and they'll figure out which tutor is best equipped to handle that subject, and they'll take you off into a breakout room, and they'll work with you. Now, if a tutor sometimes has 2 or 3 people they're working with at the same time, they might give you 15-minute chunks. Work with you for a minute, leave you alone, check on someone else, and come back. But sometimes we're available, and you just get us because we're available and no one else is there. It's just, you just don't know in the drop-in lab. That's why some students prefer the one-on-one appointments. Here is our contact information. If we were there physically on campus, we are located in Harshman Hall. And we do have someone in the Harshman Hall area because we have some computers back there that if for some reason you were on campus for classes and your Wi-Fi wasn't working or something wasn't working and you just needed a computer to do your homework, or if your computer's down this week and you need to be able to make it to your virtual class, we have computers that you can use to do that. And we have at least one instructor or tutor there to help you navigate those systems, okay? So you can drop in to Harshman Hall in person at this time with a mask on. It's Harshman Hall room 1610. Our phone number is there. You can use that phone number for pretty much anything. But if you want to schedule one-on-one appointments, or if you've forgotten what our website was, give us a call. And then if you don't want to call, because some people don't like talking on the phone, we have a website. And you can take care of all of those things, scheduling appointments or finding us in the drop-in lab by just visiting our website. I want to show you what our website looks like. So I'm going to take you there. Just going to take a second. Or maybe two. I see the little window working. This is now, I'm just going to ask you, can you guys see the website? I know there's a delay. It's kind of a blue and white screen. Is that what you're looking at, Ava? Carrie? Okay, good, thank you. All right, so that's what our homepage looks like. We again have our phone number and an email address if you wanted to reach us via email right here where I'm circling my mouse. This little hyperlink here says for virtual drop-in lab. You literally just click it and it takes you straight to a Zoom meeting that's open, and it's staffed with some tutors. And those hours between 8 to 7, Monday through Friday, 8 to 6, I'm sorry, Monday through Thursday, 8 to 6 on Friday. And it will be also Saturday mornings. It's not listed there, but Saturday mornings between 9 and 12 and 9 and 1. It's probably not staffed right now, but it will be coming in a week or two, just so that you know. I want to show you a little bit about this website. We have this whole thing over to the left. This is the home page where we are right now. We have some stuff that tells you about us. Nice little page. You can meet our staff. There's all of our bright shining faces. And there's even little bios about us, what we tutor in, and what our background looks like. There's a site here where you could schedule an appointment if you wanted to. If you get to where you know that there's a particular tutor who tutors biology, or a particular tutor who tutors a math class that you like, you could come here where it says Virtual Drop-In Tutoring Lab Schedule. Here are our names, and it shows you when we are scheduled to be in the lab. I'm heading to the lab. It says 4 to 7 today, but I think I'm not going till 5. But usually this is accurate, just so that you know. So that's how that works. I also wanted to show you this. We spent our summer coming up with this awesome little website that has some course resources. So if you needed help outside of our normal hours, we have this whole website there. I would say a lot of our students are in some kind of health sciences field. And so we have this whole cool health sciences website. Just click the link and it takes you there. We have a lot of students that take anatomy and physiology, 101, 102, and 201. And so our tutors got together and put together some material to help you with that course. They've got things to help supplement your lectures based on topic, things to help you with your labs, because they know exactly what your labs look like, and things to help you with your testing. All kinds of cool stuff in there. There we go. I got all these screens in my way. I wanted to show you the writing website as well. Mark Spalding and I worked together on this one. And the reason why I want to share it is pretty much no matter what you study here at Ivy Tech, you're going to end up writing a paper at some point in time. When you're on here, you will find that we put out some basics about writing, stuff about thesis sentences and what a 5-paragraph essay looks like, maybe a model for that. If you're taking English 111, we've given you information about all the assignments that you might be asked to do in English 111. But what I really want to draw your attention to down here is the APA style information and the MLA style information. You'll be asked to do all of your writing, well, I shouldn't say all, most of your writing in either one of those two formats. And if you don't remember what they look like, or you never did know to begin with, which is fine, that happens, you could find information about how to do that here at this website. And really, this would be great to use after hours. If you wanted information about it during the day, visit our drop-in lab. We can all help you with that. But it's a very hot topic that people need assistance with. Any questions on that?
Just refreshed my memory.
Yes. Yeah, so it's all there. And then we have this great math resources website. Math 123 is a whole thing all by itself. It is the #1 course we tutor students in. We spend more time tutoring students in Math 123 than all other courses combined. But if you're in a different math class, we've got stuff out there for you as well, all by every single topic that you learn about in your math classes. So I just want you to know we have all of that stuff there. In addition, everything that we do, we offer, well, I should say this, we offer workshops at the beginning of each semester. So last week was the week before the semester began. We offer workshops to help get you beefed up on your prerequisites for your writing classes, your math classes, and your science classes. If you missed those workshops, you didn't know about them, we have this little thing called recordings. We call those recordings smart starts. Anything we do prior to the semester, they're called smart starts or pre-semester workshops. We record everything and we post those recordings here. You could see the fall ones and you could see the summer ones we did a couple months ago. They're all getting posted now. In addition, for our math classes, for every math class you take, and we do this for Math 123, 136, 137, and now 211, 212. The week before you guys take an exam, we offer a review session and we record those as well. And those math review sessions, if you want to find an old one, are sitting right here on our website. So there's lots of good stuff to help you study. Any questions on any of that? Excellent. I'm going to change my screen. We'll go back to the PowerPoint. It's hiding on me. Okay. All right. And there's a picture of all of the tutors. We're all full-time, or not full-time. We're all, what do I say? We all have our degrees and we all specialize in the subjects that we tutor. And so those are all of our faces. In addition to these people, and that's me there, bad picture, 2 years old. In addition to these people, we also have 3 additional student workers, and they're not pictured here. So it's all these people plus 3 more. It's a large staff. In addition to the Center for Academic Excellence, which is what we are, we have an office called TRIO. And TRIO is, when we're on campus, they are right around the corner for us. We provide similar services to each other. And we actually work a little bit together to make sure that we're not overlapping and that what we're doing is working together for the student. But TRIO also offers things like tutoring, and in addition, they offer advising. We do not offer advising. And they will offer workshops and other things that are considered support to students outside the academic arena. In order to be eligible for TRIO assistance, you must meet one of those 3 requirements. You got to be a first-generation college student, or maybe you have a financial need, or you have a disability that's registered with the Department of the DSS, Disability Support Services. Couldn't think of the middle S for a second there. You have to actually apply to become a member of TRIO, and their phone number is there. That's the best way to contact them right now and get information about that application process. And then Disability Support Services, I'm going to touch on. They also work with us in Harshman Hall. We work closely with the DSS folks. They're great people too. If you had any kind of diagnosed anything in high school where you received accommodations of any sort, things like you get to use your calculator when maybe other kids don't, or you get to have your test printed in larger print because of the vision problem, or maybe you get extra time on a test because of an attention deficit issue, or maybe you get to take your test in a quieter environment also because of an attention deficit issue, or for sometimes it's just as simple as anxiety. People can get accommodations. If you had them in high school, they follow you into college if you want them to. And I tell all my students, why not take advantage of it? Do the things you can do to make your life as successful as possible. So take advantage of it. If you're a grown-up today and you didn't have that in high school, but you now have something new going on and you think you qualify for some kind of DSS support, you would simply have to get it written down by a doctor. So you'd have to go see your doctor. And I think the #1 thing people talk about or say that they have as an adult is some kind of anxiety or attention deficit situation going on, or depression, or just stress. But if you have that at a clinical level and a doctor can diagnose it, you can take that into the Disability Support Services office. You can call them to figure out how to reach them, because I'll bet you they have a way for you to email it directly to them if you didn't want to go in person. Just call that number and see if you qualify for accommodations. I know the people there, they're excellent. This is incredibly common, so do not be afraid to go after that assistance, okay?
Yep.
Okay.
Already
yeah.
met all 3 criteria.
Oh, there you go. So apply. So you got the phone number written down for TRIO, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
The application's already in the mail.
Oh, perfect. Good news. Excellent. They're wonderful. I mean, everyone at Ivy Tech, they're excellent. Fort Wayne's a great choice. I don't know the other campuses. I know Fort Wayne. They're wonderful. The last thing I want to talk to you about is the Ivy Tech library. I'm going to pull that up when we're all done. I'm going to go over and show you the library and some resources. The librarians are fantastic. If you have to research anything, they will help you. They're responsive. They get back to you that day. Sometimes it's like instant, and they are excellent. Talk about a time saver. If you have to do research, take advantage of our wonderful librarians. Now, if you have technical support, because we are an online university these days, we have a team of 3 people at Fort Wayne who comprise the educational technology team. Deb Ponsett, Tara Archbold, and John Puckett. They are located in the Student Life building. Their room numbers are included here. And those are the 3 phone numbers. If you have issues where your Zoom is not working, your access to the textbook was working yesterday and today it's not, or any other course-specific technical issue, it's just not working. The test is supposed to come up, it's not. You were supposed to get multiple chances on this test, but it locked you out. Give these guys a call. They're excellent as well. And then we have other student resources. We've got resources that will help you with personal needs, social career, and educational resources. One thing I think Ivy Tech and Indiana universities in general do excellently is they don't just want you to get your degree. They really are focused on you getting that job. And we have excellent resources through the job. We have a job assistance team on campus that helps you write your resume, help make sure your LinkedIn account, like you know how to set one up, and then it's done in a professional manner. And they'll even help you figure out which job fairs are the right ones for you. They even offer an etiquette class, which is outstanding for a lot of our younger students who somehow just missed the memo on proper etiquette for those meal interviews that you might have. They really want to make sure you get the job. It's not just about the degree, it's the job as well. And then what I want to do now is take you over to the My Ivy and Ivy Learn, and I'm going to show you where these extra resources are, including the library. So, come on, PowerPoint. There we go. All right, so if you're new to Ivy Tech, you have 2 things that we gave you when you became a student. One is called your My Ivy, which you've gotten very good at getting into, and I'm going to open mine up. And then the other one's called Ivy Learn. And people are always like, well, what's in what? And why do I have both? And they look the same, so I can't remember what's in what. Your My Ivy has anything that's non-course related, that's administrative only. So I have mine open, so I have a whole employee thing. But you guys would have a student dashboard, and in here you're going to find stuff about your billing, your advising, your schedule, and other student resources. You have access to Microsoft Office 365. You have a Gmail account with us here at Ivy Tech, and we populate that stuff with all kinds of things, inviting you to take advantage of your resources. You can access your Ivy Learn from your My Ivy page. You have a Google Drive, and Google Drive is a way that you can save all of your work out there online without having to use a memory stick or a flash drive. And it's just a convenient place. If you're comfortable with Google Drive, you have a Google Drive account with us here at Ivy Tech. We gave it to you. I wanted to show you that you can find the library here at your My Ivy. You click the library page, and it just takes a second. And you can do your research from here. Your library staff is available online, and you can reach us right here front and center on that link. In addition, I want to show you how else you can get a hold of your librarians. If you come up here to the, I think it's library home. Nope, it's library services. The very top thing under library services is called Ask a Librarian. And if you click that, it opens up, I believe, a live chat. And you can ask them on the spot. And sometimes they get back to you right on the spot. You type your question right here. You can do a search, but you can also send an email directly to the librarian. But what I think is my favorite is the phone number or a text right there. Our librarians are very responsible. They're very good at what they do. And when it's time for you to do research, regardless of which class you're taking, our librarians can save you a lot of time. And I think that's the most important thing for our community college students, is to save time. So I just wanted to make sure that you can find your library. And it was in your My Ivy webpage on the bottom. It's in your My Ivy. We have additional resources, and you can find them in your Ivy Learn. I hid mine over here. Here's what your Ivy Learn might look like. You have an account, a dashboard. You can find your courses. Your Ivy Learn is Canvas. It's Ivy Tech's version of Canvas. And anything that's course specific is found in your Ivy Learn. Okay, when you want to find your assignments or your grades or all of that good stuff, you're going to find it in your Ivy Learn. Now, we gave you a Gmail account, and you can email your instructors with that. But in addition, in your Ivy Learn, you have this inbox here. This is the inbox and the email system that your instructors will check every day. And most of them will have a chime turned on. So if you use this, they'll even hear it or get some kind of alert on their phone. And they'll know a student just tried to contact them, and they'll know exactly which class you're in. So using this particular email is excellent. And if you have any more questions about how to use it, just visit us in our virtual lab and we can walk you through it. But what I did want to show you is down here, the resources. If you click in your Ivy Learn, you click your resources, you'll find that we have all kinds of additional resources for you and a little explanation about what they all do. And I just want to make sure that you can find that. This one's excellent, the Ivy Learn Student Resource Center. If you open that, they have information about how to get started with your Ivy Learn, which is Ivy Tech's version of Canvas. And if you have a question about that, they have a great little website or video to help you learn how to use your Ivy Learn. And they also have a little bit to help you learn about how to use Zoom and additional stuff for time management, etc. So this is a great little resource for you, especially this week before your classes get busy, to get a little bit more used to using Zoom and to using Ivy Learn. Any questions on that?
Nope.
Excellente. All right, I'll take us right back to the PowerPoint, but basically we are done. From current slide. Small print, I'm getting old. I showed you how to find us at the CAE, and the website is simply caeivy.com. And when you get to that website, we have all kinds of additional information. So we went through all of that. So at this point in time, that is all I have for you. Do you guys have any questions for me? Okay. Well, I want to thank you so much for attending today. It was lovely to meet all of you. And thank you for your participation, Ava. And I look forward to seeing all of you at the CAE website in the drop-in lab. Feel free to schedule appointments, all those good things. We look forward to working with you. And I wish you the absolute best of luck.
Thank you. And may Fort Wayne's good news be yours.
Thank you. Yes, thank you. Excellent.
All right.
Mary?
Well, thank you very much, Kim, for that really, really great and informative information about our Center for Academic Excellence. I am going to take another quick moment and share that QR code. I saw that all of our participants today have already registered, so you are all good to go. You don't need to do this again, but this is for any of our folks that view this recording after the fact. I'm going to go ahead and post that QR code again. We are just tracking attendance with this and sending out a feedback form for you so that we can collect any data to send you out your prizes. So again, I'm going to share my screen. Let that post for just a little bit. and then we will sign off for today. So once again, you just use your QR code scanner on your phone or snap a picture and click on the link that populates with the from your camera app. And we thank everybody for joining us today, and we want to especially thank Kim for presenting, and don't forget to get a hold of CAE if you need any assistance or any of our other awesome resources that Ivy Tech offers. Tomorrow, we will be hosting a student organization fair that is also virtual, so you'll have an opportunity to hear about all of the student organizations that we have available here at Ivy Tech Fort Wayne and in Warsaw as well. The beauty of our virtual, sorry, I have a 4-year-old who's screaming here. The beauty of our virtual environment is that we are able to kind of associate with our Warsaw counterparts and join some of their activities and some of their organizations as well, because we don't have that distance barrier. So that's something that's pretty cool. Their organizations, our organizations will all be joining tomorrow to present what we have available and what how organizations can benefit you as students. And then also on Thursday, we'll be hosting another resource fair where all of our student success resources will be gathering to present even more resources that we have to help you guys be successful at school. So we hope to see you guys there. And that's all that I have. So I thank you guys for being here today, and I'm going to go ahead and stop that recording. You guys have a great afternoon.